Free will and soul contracts, two contradictory concepts. October 20, 2014. If you ever deviate from your life plan in favor of materiality or make choices that aren't in the best interest of your growing perception of spirit, it helps to remember that you're doing your best. You exist on a planet where humans have been taught to believe material things and the luster that comes with them grant eternal happiness, but in reality, this happiness is only temporary and the materiality that drives it will always seek satisfaction, feeding, stimulation. If you catch yourselves in the trap of materiality, you'll find that you always strive to enjoy the next new or big thing, the next shiny or glossy thing, the next thing that temporarily takes your attention away from your growing spiritual perception and puts it on your external reality. Needless to say, this doesn't fill you with much love or wholeness. With love in our one heart and compassion for how easy it can be to lose yourselves in materialistic traps, we recommend you put your focus fully on spirit and what you can do to achieve a higher vibration every day and in every moment. Your spiritual beings. Don't hold yourselves back any longer, and instead, allow yourselves to soar with the understanding that you're spiritual beings having a human experience. Like plenty of others have said, you aren't simple human beings who've suddenly awakened to spirit, you are and have always been spiritual beings. You were spiritual beings before you made your way to the earth, and you will be spiritual beings far after you leave your little blue world, which will happen after you've helped her and all on her surface achieve planetary evolution. Again, we recommend keeping in mind that you're all doing your best with the currently limited perception you possess on the earth, but if you ever feel like you're deviating too far away from your life path or denying your intuition to the extent that your spiritual perception's distorted, we wholeheartedly recommend breaking the spell and doing everything you can to live for love and spirit, two qualities that are desperately missing from the minds and hearts of humanity. You have far more potential than you realize, and you can achieve a wealth of spiritual phenomena right from the surface of the earth if you allow yourselves. Should you decide to, you can bridge the gap between the earthly and the spiritual, the unreal and the real, and all you have to do is believe in yourselves and your divinely ordained abilities. Detaching from materiality and everything that feeds it is one of the best things you can do, and in doing this, you'll break the spell that's entranced millions of people on your planet who don't understand or believe that something very real and pure exists beyond the external, material things you've been taught to believe provide the happiness you seek. They don't, and instead, they provide a temporary materialistic high that has to be continuously satisfied to be enjoyed. With each time you satisfy a materialistic urge, your consciousness and your sense of spirituality deplete a little bit. The souls on your planet who are entrenched in materiality to the point that they can't seem to find their way out have zapped their spirituality and their greater perception for the most part, but if they were to detach from their material goals and pursuits and perform a wealth of diligent and focused yet detached inner work, their spirituality would naturally return to them. You're meant to enjoy the greater perception that comes with embracing spirit instead of the temporary and limited high that comes with embracing materiality, and with all of this said, we'll answer the question we've been given today. Question: Free will or soul contracts? On different channelings I often hear that we all have free will, but on the other side they also say we all have an agreed life plan before reincarnation. I feel contradiction here. Can your higher self explain how they are related? Both aspects of our reader's question are correct. You have indeed been given universal and inalienable free will, and you've also come to Earth with a pre-planned life contract that your higher selves and guides help you stick to while you're there. How is this not a contradictory statement, you ask? We'll be happy to provide our perspective. From our vantage point, you're the ones who plan and stick to your life paths. Even though you're given assistance from your higher selves, your guides, and the rest of the company of heaven, you plan out your lives and the things you'll do and experience while you're on Earth, nobody else. If you begin to deviate from your life path, there's no grand oversoul or leader who attempts to put you back on it. Your higher selves and guides don't take commands from some supreme spiritual authority who makes sure you stick to your life path, and instead, You're the ones your higher selves and guides listen to. If you stray from your life plan and your guides attempt to help you get back on track, it's because they're following orders that originate in your subconscious. You're the ones who plan the things you'll do and experience on Earth, and when you stray from your paths, certain aspects of your subconscious will lovingly request your higher selves and guides do what they can to keep you on your path without invading or interrupting your divinely ordained free will. Your guides are quite limited in the things they can do to keep you on your path, and this is because of your free will. They can send you signs here and there and make suggestions about the things you can do to remain on your path, whether you're aware of these suggestions or not, but they can't and won't ever force you to stick to your soul contract, which you created and planned. Some souls stray very far away from their life paths, and this includes conscious seekers who intend to do and complete certain things in their lives but fall short of their goals or expectations. In some cases, a conscious seeker will subconsciously ask their higher self and guides to do even more than they're permitted to keep them on their life path. This request is usually humbly denied, because if the conscious public has learned anything by this point, it's that no higher dimensional entity would violate your free will for any reason. Your free will is as honored as the life plan you've each come to Earth with, and your individual free will is the only thing that can keep you from fulfilling your plan. You've given a wealth of assistance from various facets of the company of heaven with staying on the path you've planned for yourselves, but at the end of the day, your willingness to do the things your intuition recommends determines the evolutionary progress you make. One of the things we'll recommend for those of you who want to remain on your path with no hindrance is to listen to your intuition in every moment. We'd say that your intuition is a little voice in your head, but this isn't an accurate way to describe it. It's more of a constant inner guide or companion that sends you impressions related to the choices that are and aren't best for you to make in any given moment. Your intuition is your link to your higher selves, your guides and the rest of the company of heaven, and if you listen to it, you'll find that your lives become much easier and more free-flowing. This is because you'll live in alignment with the divine, and when you do, a lot of the pains and difficulties that are bred from resisting your life plan, soul contract, etc. practically disappear. When you can release any and all resistance, everything flows as if by magic. If you're willing to see that you've meticulously crafted a specific soul contract to adhere to, as opposed to another entity crafting it for you and attempting to make you stick with it, you'll have much less difficulty understanding the concept of soul contracts and the importance of adhering to yours while you help the earth and its people ascend. The deeper you venture into your own consciousness, into the pure and blissful vibrations of the self, the clearer various important spiritual concepts will become and the easier it'll be for you to get a perceptual grip on these concepts when you could otherwise know little about them. With the intuitive link you now possess with your higher selves and guides, you'll be practically infinite in terms of what you can do and be, and your choices will always be in alignment with your life path if you let them. Free will transforms into divine will. Your free will could never be abridged, on earth or in the higher realms, and like many of your famous spiritual teachers have told you, your free will steadily yet surely transforms into divine will as you reach higher and purer states of consciousness. You'll seek to satisfy your egos less and the divine more, and your desire to live for spirit will be far purer and more potent than it's ever been. You'll be very glad you made the decision to listen to your intuition and your higher selves and guides when you could have otherwise ignored them and satisfied the nearly endless demands of the ego, and your willingness to work hard to bring yourselves and those around you into the light will increase exponentially. You have a lot of divinely inspired changes to make to your once broken planet, and with each step you take in the right direction, you help yourselves and everyone around you see that you don't have to feed the materialistic condition your collective consciousness has been in for a long time. You can break the spell by detaching from materiality and your physical reality as much as possible, while making sure you don't directly deny or resist them, because to resist anything is to create an energy that doesn't help you progress into the higher spheres. The energy of resistance will hold you back more than anything else, and you can experience materiality without directly feeding it. without expanding your ego to the point that you can't control your own wants or desires. So many earthly souls have fallen into this trap, and it'd be very unfortunate to see the conscious community knowingly or unknowingly fall into it as well. You're given the free will to fall into it if you really want to, of course, but most of you have designed your soul contracts to include the transcendence of materiality and anything else that keeps you from discovering and acting on the spiritual nature of your existence or the incredibly pure and blissful vibrations you now have the opportunity to feel and enjoy. Your potential to use the good vibration you're feeling within to create a wealth of important and needed changes is growing by the day, and if you can only realize how potent your abilities are becoming, we are confident that you'll each happily choose these abilities over the materiality you could otherwise easily feed. We note that it seems much easier to feed materiality than spirit on your evolving planet, but if you make a diligent effort and remain committed to your mission, you'll find that spirituality becomes much easier and far more fulfilling to access than the material things that can block your spiritual perception if you let them. Because of the perspective we're blessed to have, we recommend you fully shift your focus onto spirit instead of materiality, and when you do this, you can experience and even enjoy material things without letting them overpower you. There's nothing necessarily wrong with enjoying a video game every now and then, for instance, but if you aren't extremely careful, you'll be easily trapped in the desire to feed or stimulate the ego, which video games and plenty of other things can cause. A thin line. You have to be careful when it comes to experiencing materiality, because there's a very, very thin line between experiencing it and feeding it. Many seekers have unknowingly crossed this line and suddenly found themselves craving materiality over spirituality, and if this has happened to you, you can recognize that you're swaying from your path and seek to mend any perceived errors. Know that you're infinitely loved by your Creator, who simply wants you to experience and enjoy the lower vibrations until you're ready to experience the higher again, and do everything you can to embrace spirit if you're ready to, of course, and follow the life paths you've planned for yourselves. We'll make our final expressions for this communication with the usual gratitude for everything you've collectively done so far. We know that many of you have a lot of trouble dealing with the pains and stresses of earthly existence, and we empathize with the fact that many of you are ready to see what the higher realms have to offer once and for all. Many of you have been involved in the Earth's ascension for decades in your current life, and if you understood how long you've been involved in this important mission beyond your current life, you might be surprised. Some of you, however, might not be surprised to learn that you've spent literally hundreds of lives on the Earth's surface preparing for the time you're currently in. The more you utilize the blessed opportunity you've been given to uplift yourselves and everyone else who's in need of the sacred upliftment your purer vibration will provide, the more you can get done in your current life and any others you may choose to experience, on Earth or anywhere else. Continue to be the light bearers and ascension assisters you've been for so long, and know that you're being given all of the assistance you require with remaining firmly on the path that's best for you. You've planned this path for yourselves, and we'll continue to do everything we can to keep you on them so you can explore your true potential and get the fullest out of your evolving Earth experience. You're eternally loved by every facet of consciousness in the higher realms, and with the extent to which many of you are knowingly receiving this love, we are confident that you'll be able to express and radiate it in a time of heightened consciousness and awareness on the part of all of humanity. Thank you to my higher self and spiritual guides. Channeled through Wes Anak. cultureofawareness.com